happens in elections all the time. That's why I've signed on to support the Stop Dirty Money campaign. So I think really the issue is that claiming to be above it all and not really being above it all as a clean candidate, knowing that the other money was coming in. And it's a lot of money. I mean, so for my campaign, we've done a great job raising money, and we've raised every dollar that we're spending, and we don't have other efforts for us. But we've been really smart in how we've spent our money, and so we've gone from almost no name recognition to really being a contender and having the endorsement of the Arizona Daily Star, which was really extraordinary for a first-time candidate. And so we set up a plan from the very beginning, and we've executed that plan.
Too, it seems to me, too, that obviously people are looking at business solutions to solve Tucson's problems. We've gone through phases when it's all been government. And now I think every single member of the council, as well as the outgoing mayor, has said, look, we have to have a prosperous city or we can't really solve any of our social problems.
We don't have the budget for the quality of life that we deserve. And
say that again. That's kind of interesting.
We do not have the budget for the quality of life that we deserve. We don't have enough money in our budget to meet the needs of the city, the people of the city of Tucson, in the way that we should. So that's, I look at what's the problem, what's the solution, and our problems are complex, but where many of them converge is all around not having a strong enough economy. And so that's why the number one priority in my plan is really to grow our economy, support the local businesses that are here in the startup community, give them everything that they need to thrive so that we can increase wages at all levels and start to have the money that we need so that we can fix our roads and have more cops and have better parks. We need to really pair that with bringing in the right kinds of companies. And I've worked with businesses. I used to help billion-dollar businesses grow and thrive. I have my own small business. So I really have used that experience with business big and small to inform my plan. And when we're trying to attract all kinds of businesses to come here, I think I'm the right person to be partnering with Sun Corridor and bringing them here and even taking the lead on some of that.
You take a look at literally the large number of people that are still below the poverty level in Tucson.
We have 24% poverty rate in Tucson.
1 out of 4 people live below the poverty level in Tucson, and that puts all kinds of pressures on a very large number of people.
Well, it's unconscionable in a city with our resources, with the incredible people that we have.
How do you solve that?
So first, creating more jobs and more better paying jobs, making sure that services are available. We have incredible nonprofits in this community, but what I'd like to do is convene them all and really understand what services we have, what the needs are, where they intersect, and where we might need to supplement. But I don't think we have a great handle on the incredible nonprofits that are here, and then how we supplement that with help from the city. So like when in downtown Tucson, I've been chairwoman of the Downtown Tucson Partnership, and we had a real issue with people experiencing homelessness in the downtown area. And there had been a park outside near Congress Street, and in 2015, the mayor and council closed the park instead of really helping the people experiencing homelessness there. That park is still closed. When the Downtown Tucson Partnership was faced with the same thing a year later, we partnered with an existing nonprofit, Old Pueblo Community Services, and we sat in the park with them 5 days a week with a simple sign that said, "Need a home." And they have a housing first model, which means they put people in housing and they surround them with the services that they need to thrive. And 5 days a week, we sat and found people housing. And in 3 months, we had found 85 people permanent or temporary housing. And in 4 months, we had decreased chronic homelessness downtown by 95%. And that was the simple act of connecting people in need to existing services. And as mayor, I want to expand that program and continue it even beyond homelessness.
Yeah, I've watched this city try to struggle with the homelessness problem downtown in many different ways. At one time, they were actually feeding people at City Hall. And literally, you would walk up to pay your water bill and have to step over 5 people who were inebriated and passed out drunk, and then about 10 other people just to pay your water bill. It was a disgrace. It was absolutely deplorable.
Well,
I felt terrible for these people. The point is, I felt so bad for this city that we couldn't find a better way to solve that problem rather than feeding people at City Hall. It was just stupid.
Well, that's really key. So for us, we established a compassion first, enforcement second policy, because people experiencing homelessness, it's so complex how people end up on the streets and the challenges that they're facing. So we have to be compassionate first and try to help. And there are a lot of ways that we can do that. Beyond feeding, really what people need is they need housing. And last year we had 450 housing vouchers that went unused. Because they weren't connected to the people and they weren't connected to services. So we actually have housing, but we have to better connect to the people and the services. There are a lot of cities that don't have housing, and they start with that as the critical problem. For us, it's really about the connection.
No one would question your rather remarkable success as a businesswoman.
Thank you.
How does that serve you as being mayor of our city?
I think it's the perfect segue into being mayor because I've been in business, I've been an innovator, I've been a manager, I have collaborated extensively, and really I never think of my success as my success. I think of it as the people that I've worked with. When we did the Ice House Lofts, we had a team, Museum of Contemporary Art. That was a team working together, and downtown as well. And the mayor and council have to really act like a team to move Tucson forward. And I think the mayor has the most outwardly facing profile and can really set the vision. But it is all about how we collaborate, create thoughtful plans, intelligent plans, and make them happen together.
The Arizona Daily Star said a successful mayor is more concerned with accomplishments than taking credit. It's a job that requires leadership by aiming high, but setting priorities and goals that are within the purview of local government. I think they were talking about others who are running for this office that go beyond the boundaries of local government into statewide responsibilities, federal responsibilities. And you've said, at least in the conversations I've had with you, we got to pay attention to what this city responsibility is. That's safe roads, police, fire, basic services to Tucsonans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think in running this race, it's important. I 100% know that I am running for mayor of Tucson, and I know exactly what that means. I'm not a career politician. I don't have political aspirations. I haven't run for other offices before, and I'm not using, ideas from the past. All of my ideas are very specifically about what we need as a city, what mayor and council can do, and how I can help set the vision and really take us there. I think it's critically important, but I'm in forum after forum where ideas beyond what is possible for mayor and council are put out there, and as though there was some magic wand to make those happen. I really think that we do Tucson a disservice when we're not focused on viable plans for Tucson. But always the vision is to turn Tucson into a thriving 21st century city. We deserve to be a thriving 21st century city that is rooted in our character and our culture.
Couple of quick responses, if you
Yes.
don't mind. I-11, do you support the interstate on the west side of the community from the border to Las Vegas?
I am supportive conceptually, but I am not supportive of the route that goes through Avra Valley for several reasons. Environmentally, it would be a disaster, and economically, I don't think it makes sense to divert traffic outside of our business area. They should be going through our business area, and I think there's ways to accommodate the proposed flow by expanding I-10.
What about the idea that we would include maintenance in the next RTA proposal, the Transportation Authority? Would include money for maintenance rather than just construction.
So I have to look at that closely to see all the things that are in it. I think you can't really just look at it piecemeal. Conceptually, it seems like a great idea because we are always faced with the issue of creating roads that we then don't have the money to maintain. But I think we have to look at the RTA renewal, which technically is going to be in 2026, but we'll start looking at that in the next year or so. I think we have to look at the entire package because there's other things that I would like to include in there. We passed a complete streets initiative several months ago in the city that is supposed to make our city more bikeable, more walkable, safer streets. And we don't have a funding mechanism for all of that. And I'd like to see if there's room in the RTA renewal to do that as well. But I think we have to look at it holistically.
People will apparently have the decision come November in our general election here in the city as to whether we want to become a sanctuary city. Do you support that or do you not?
I do not support the initiative of becoming a sanctuary city because the state has made it so that there are consequences to the city that I don't think we can really take on. So we would lose around $100 million a year from our budget, which would greatly affect the services that we rely on to keep us safe. There are other issues with the way the initiative is written. I mean, I appreciate the intention, but the initiative is written, I do not support, and neither of the other two Democratic candidates support it either.
By the way, these two other Democratic candidates have been in public office for over a dozen years. Regina Romero, the Ward 1 council person, Steve Farley, House member, Senate member. You don't have experience as an elected official. Is that a plus?
I think that's a plus. I've been out making things happen. I've been a business leader, a community leader. I am always focused on actually getting things done. And what I've loved about Tucson is it's really given me the opportunity to show people what's possible. When we bought an old ice factory in 2002, my husband and I, with two of our friends, and everyone told us we were crazy. Nobody wanted to live downtown. It was abandoned. It was next to the railroad tracks on the edge of downtown. And in 2002, there was very little going on downtown. But we could really see the potential. We created the plan, got a good team together, made that happen. And it was a highly successful project, and I live there with my husband and my daughter right now. It's amazing. Museum of Contemporary Art, same thing. We were a little 2-room museum when I started on the board. I was president for 6 years, and people said to me, "Why are you getting involved with this museum? This is a Western art town." And I said, contemporary art has the power to change the way people think. And this was 2006. And I really felt like Tucson needed a little kick to start thinking a little differently. So we had big plans for this museum, and we've executed all of them. We are a world-class museum in the firehouse downtown. People come from all over the world to visit our museum, and no one would have imagined that 13 years ago.
If people want to help you, they've got a chance to vote for you. They can turn their ballot in. It's an all mail-in ballot, and they must have them in their hands. Still a lot of ballots out there that haven't been mailed. So what do you say to those people that are holding that ballot?
Well, so I know that there are a lot of undecided people. And I would encourage you to go to my website, which is randyformayor.com, read my platform, email me through the website if you have any questions. I have really put forth a vision for Tucson and real ideas to get us there. I would be honored to have people's votes. This is really about how to have positive impact and move the community forward. There are a lot of people who, I was out this weekend. I've been knocking doors 3 days a week since February, but especially in the last week or so, almost every day. Some people have not gotten their ballots, and there was a mix-up at the clerk's office. If you have not received your ballot, call the city clerk's office and let them know. It is all vote by mail. You need to mail your ballots back, hopefully with a vote for Randi Dorman, by August 21st. There is one location that the city clerk has where you can vote in person, and on Election Day, the 27th, there will be 6 locations around town where you can vote in person and bring your ballot. But the easiest is vote for Randi right now, mail in your ballot, and if not today, especially the 21st, before the 21st.
Randi, thanks for being on our show. Thanks for running, and we appreciate it so very much. It's been a remarkable campaign. People say you're in the race, and that's where you want to be at this time, right?
Absolutely. We're in it to win.
All right. Thanks for being on our show.
Thanks
we really
so much,
appreciate
John.
it. Randi Dorman, Democratic candidate for mayor on the John C. Scott Show. What are the progressives thinking? Larry Bodine of Blog for Arizona, my guest, next.